Hi, this is Ishio, and welcome back to A Summer with the Shiba Inu. And last time we kind of got an ending, but it wasn't the greatest ending. We kind of destroyed civilization, and it wasn't exactly ideal, but it was an ending, so that's what we got. So I kind of got in touch with the developer of the game, and they've kindly provided me with a complete guide, and they've also added it to their Steam page, so link is in the description. So let's have a look and get more of these endings. Yeah, we'll go from this point. Yeah, you're alive, dude. Yeah. I know you found my pendant. I'm totally alive without it. I can see that now. So, what the ARI told us was a total scam, wasn't it? I'm surprised you hadn't figured it out already. It was so easy. Geez, why does everybody come for me like this? Cutie, you, even Max. Anyway, why don't you come with? We can leave the island if you want. I predicted that you'd propose something like that, but before that, I need to tell you some things. I've never heard him use such a serious tone. It catches me off guard. Sure. You probably have the feeling that this is going to be something hard for you to hear. So I'm just going to cut to the chase. He knows me too well, even after all that's happened and so many years have passed. Direct, I like it, saves us the time. Go ahead. I'm glad to see you, but this is going to be the last time we speak. Why? I came all this way to find you, and this is what you say to your own sister after a decade. Well, of course I'd have a different reaction from you. For one, I knew you were alive the whole time, so I didn't feel that surprise or relief, whatever you called it, that you must be feeling right now. We're still so alike, but you're my level of bluntness dialed up to the max. Let me explain though. Okay, please do. My entire goal is to live my life independently of the ARI's interference. By disappearing from society and eliminating my link to the pendant, I've achieved my goal. I would welcome you back into my life if our goals align. He hasn't explicitly finished explaining, but I can already see where he's going. I see. I haven't been able to let go of the feather, and by extension, the power that the arenas have granted me. While your goal is the opposite. We prevent each other from achieving our goals and our ideal way of life. Correct. Sid, I've missed you, that's for sure. But I've been observing you once you landed back on the island, and I can see for sure that you've not changed. Not enough for our goals to align. You know what? It's kind of fair. I've made some choices since I got back here, and I agree with you. I would not consider myself free of the ARI at all. In fact, I never escaped it in the first place, even when I left for a new world. I thought I'd escaped, but it was just a prolonged avoidance of the real issue within me. Chunwen nods. So, this is it for now. Not for now, it's forever. Technically, I'm open to reconnecting if our paths go the same direction again, but saying that we might share our lives again will open too much false hope and loose ends that's going to hold both of us back. You even came back to the island because of this loose end. We've been alike for so long. And we still are. Which is why I want to live as myself. You made your choices, and I've made mine. In the beginning, my choices were to follow you, no matter how far and high you got. But now I realised that it's the opposite, and I will deal with the consequences. I'm just looking out for myself here. Together, we're too powerful to not influence each other. I nod, and I reach out a paw. Here's to being two separate dogs. Chunwen grips my paw with his own, and inclines his head toward me. It's a gesture of respect, and I return it in kind, bowing lightly. So, this is it. Farewell, Sid. He turns and walks toward the obsidian corridor. At the doorway, he turns briefly. Oh, and I hope you're treating your friend well. You're much more similar than you'd think. I look to Q, and she meets my eye with a shrug and a nonchalant grin. I raise my paw to acknowledge his statement, but don't know how to respond. Q and I watch until he disappears down the corridor. Wow. Yeah, he's a cold one, isn't he? He is. I can definitely see your similarities. Your level of horribleness, but dialed higher. But how could you two say goodbye forever, so matter-of-factly? Well, I agree with him completely, so the only option for us is to separate, now that his true feelings have been conveyed. I've made my choices, and I can only say I'm tied to the ARI because I don't want to let go of what is given me. My pendant, my ranking, and my feather. Thank you for bringing me to Chunwen, Q. Now the reason for me coming back to the island is cleared up. he's also helped me understand my own priorities with clarity. I know what I must do moving forward. Okay, a few days later. I've said goodbye to my brother. The only one I sincerely hoped to be by my side has left me, however. To say that Cutie left me might be taking it too personally. She just kind of disappeared without a trace. It's quite a shame, as I feel that we really got along. I wonder how much she'll agree with my plans of restructuring the arenas to increase the mandatory participation age for every dog. Not to mention making the arenas even more challenging and grueling. Even though Culie's a compassionate dog and might worry about the impact on the general populace, I think she has my best interests at heart. So at this point it's probably good that I mention a lot of the decisions that you make to get this kind of ending are a lot of the meanest, more spiteful, aggressive and selfish decisions that you can make. So if you're going to have an option, one of the options, do you tackle or do you bite? If you bite, you're heading toward this kind of ending. So yeah, this is like the evil Sid ending, sort of. She'll likely prioritise my decisions over what she feels over other dogs. I should get back to work. See, maybe it's a good thing Cutie's not around. You miss her too much. It's an emotional tie to the past. So Sid's pretty hardcore on this route. Don't get distracted. An unknown amount of time later. Sid, it's Max again. Tell him I'm busy. Yes, Sid. After the aide leaves, I get back to the matter at paw, creating a new design for the arena brackets. To keep my standing as the feather bearer untouchable, the struggle underneath me needs to be so harsh that they cannot breathe. Then they will be distracted and never think to go for the top of the ARI. Max has been trying to reach me for months. I've blocked his number on my personal wrist phone. He doesn't know that I'm the head of the ARI now, but I reckon it's not hard to figure out that I joined the ARI at least. He comes to the building every now and then, asking to see me. He must have a lot of questions, since I cut him off without explaining anything. I do miss having someone around me that will speak candidly to me. But just like Chun-Wen, he ties me too much to my past. And so I must let go, and I must walk alone. The ARI cannot fail because of any emotions on my part. A few days later, I've made my choices. I took over the ARI, it's mine now. The arenas are running well, and I control them all. More experiments on the feather's capabilities are being run, all on my whims. I try anything and everything that comes to mind on any dog I wish, and record them. Surely this is the only way I will not lose control. Surely this is what I was meant to do. The dogs are beneath me, and always will be. This is what I deserve. I don't need warmth. I don't need compassion. I walk alone. Sometimes I get a nagging thought, why am I spending my life tending to the system that holds the island together? It was already working fine before I interfered. But I push the thought aside. This is so that I can have the ultimate control, and not let even a drop of it slip away from my paws. This is Sid's reality. Yeah, 3 years later, Sid. Are you a good dog? I'm not convinced. Sid, it's time for your next appointment. I look up from my hologram screen. Oh yeah, thanks 1111. As we leave my office to the meeting room, 1111 briefs me on the appointment. You've got an interview with the candidate for the newest member of the ARI. The candidate applied this year, though it cleared all arenas and finalised its ranking 14 years ago. Okay, why do I have a strange feeling about this? That's the same year that I finished my arenas. Well, the candidate does have quite a unique background. You see, this dog is not a Shiba Inu. It's what are they called now? Oh, yeah, a Labrador. Sure. You just have to vet the candidate. It's gone through a lengthy process with the ARI committee, so we're quite certain of its abilities, and that its values align with the ARI. Sid, are you feeling okay? We can postpone it if you want. Oh no, I'm fine. I just had a random thought about the arena restructuring project. Here's a list of all its arenas and its performances in all of them. 1111 swipes on the hologram screen and my wrist phone pings. I open the file. It was born in the Taipor area. According to the list, we were never in the same arena bracket, though we competed in the same years. It seems legit, but seriously, a Labrador? As I continue browsing the candidate files, 1111 comes to a stop. We've arrived outside the meeting room. We're supposed to finish my briefing before I go inside, and 1111 patiently waits as I scroll down the files reading. I know I'm not supposed to know before the interview, but what's the dog's name? It's against our internal regulations, Sid, but since we're right at the door, I can tell you. Are you sure you want to know? I want to be objective, but I think this is more from my composure than anything. There are so many possible explanations as to why a Labrador's here now. Sure, since we're entering the meeting room as soon as you finish briefing me anyway. Okay, so according to our files, it's called Quill. I'm so suspicious. Yeah, you're right to be, I think so. Actually, 1111, can we skip the rest of the briefing? Just send me the rest of the files, I'll go in. As you wish. Okay, let's go in. I place my paw on the panel, and the door slides open. And there she is. Okay. As soon as I enter, I recognise her. I struggle to contain myself. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. But she looks like her. Way too much like her. Quill? She stands as I near the table, extending a paw to me. Yeah. Hi, Sid. Hello again. Where have you been? And why are you here like this, pretending to be an interviewee? You could have just called me. What would have been the fun in that? Cutie shrugs, looking away from me. I also wanted to see if it were easy enough to slip by your beloved ARI's screening. She looks me dead in the eyes. You know, you're doing a horrible job on the security if you didn't even know I was back and was so close to becoming a dog-damned member of the ARI. Like I said, maybe you should have just called me. Do you know how much oh my god, I'm losing my rationality. The shock of seeing Cutie in front of my eyes again. I wanted to ask you to be with me here. I missed you. Why didn't you just tell me that you came back? Why did you have to do something so weird and roundabout? Any sense of decorum as the head of the ARI, the de facto rule of the island, had evaporated. I don't even know what I'm trying to say to her, why the questions keep coming out of my mouth. Is this your idea of a prank? A prank? Yeah, I wish it were. No, this was so I could speak to you without any pretense of the relationship we had before. Now that this is a formal setting, I can be direct. Yeah, I left. I didn't have the heart to tell you that I gave up on you when you decided to take over the ARI. I believe the island is better without it. What do you mean, gave up on you? What did you expect of me? On the way to find your brother, we were getting along so well. I really believed that you changed from the Sid in the past. I really believed that you could be complete without me. But in the end, I was utterly disappointed. It doesn't make sense. Are you saying that the entire time you were helping me it was just a test? And I thought you really cared about me, that we cared for each other. Cutie looks at me quizzically, as if trying to decipher what I just said. I don't know what to say after that outburst, and Cutie doesn't offer anything. You know, I don't think I've ever seen you so expressive before. Of course not. And for the record, I do care. Sure, okay, I mean, thanks. I mean it, I care for you, and that's why I'm back. Come away with me, Sid. Leave the ARI. If my one purpose was to balance you out, I failed when I gave up and left. But I really mean it when I say I'll do anything to save you from yourself. Come away with me, Sid. Leave the ARI. In that moment, it felt like I was being pulled away from reality. Taken to some crossroads that I could see myself standing under. One, continuing as I had intended for myself with headstrong certainty. Continuing to shoulder the burden of maintaining a system that chained down millions of Shiba Inu. I hold the reins, but the chains weigh me down too. The second path is illuminated, one that had always been there, but I'd been too blinded by my need to control to acknowledge. A path where I shrug off the chains, where I am no longer holding any claim over any other Shiba Inu. I feel vulnerable without the control, like I'm floating away. However, if I relinquish everything that AI allowed possible for me to have, at the same time, I will have nothing to lose. What's there to worry about? And picturing me and Cutie together, cut free of the ARI, is a frighteningly beautiful possibility. Only a possibility now, but I know full well that it could be a reality. If only I let go of my ego and allowed myself to break down the walls around my mind. I'll let you think about it. Yeah, you do that. Cutie inclines her head. Take your time. Well, you know what? I'll give you 2 weeks. Maybe you can try to set something up so that AI can run without your existence. I don't know. And I'm not going to give you an ultimatum right now or force your decision. 2 weeks, and when you decide, you better fully stand behind your choice. Fine. Well then, that concludes our interview, Quill. I'll get back to you with the results once the decision has been made. Be in touch. Quill sweeps out of the room without waiting for me. I shrug and exit the room. 1111 greets me. Quite in a hurry, wasn't she? Almost knocked me over. Yeah, I imagine she didn't want to hang around. 1111 raises an eyebrow. What did you think of the candidate? She was satisfactory. That's not a strong endorsement, Sid. She does seem like quite the brash character with the brief and sudden interaction I had with her. Dogs that don't prioritise the ARI might be troublesome. Remember that. Yeah, of course I will. I'm sorry, it's just been a long day. Could you get 99.99 to send me the brief on tomorrow's council? I'll note down my thoughts on the candidate and make a decision this week. Yeah, of course. Get some rest, Sid. I'll speak with you tomorrow. Why have I been so hard on myself? I believed that everything I did was needed to bring me a net benefit. The way I calculated benefit was in terms of power and control. Is it already too late to evaluate myself another way? By the days that I could watch the sun rise and set and just have peace of mind. I've had my guard up for so long that I don't know how I can let it down. If I leave the ARI, I'll have a chance at a fresh start. A true fresh start, not just avoiding the problem by physically removing myself from the island. But if I leave the ARI, I suddenly won't know how to see myself. My values up till now will be all negated. Okay, a few days later. In the end, I leave the ARI running, but give instructions to 1111 to start an initiative to loosen the ranking system. I know that if I just destroy the ARI, there will be no dog to pick up the pieces. The entire island so far is completely dependent on the arena structure, from the way dogs interact or assigned occupations, and even their self-definition are all based on rankings. This would need to be slowly eased out. I could be the one to oversee the entire process, but I know that I would eventually leave the island if the initiative were done. So I don't think I should be the island's new leader in the post-ARI world. I don't fully belong to the island. I think it's the right thing to do, to let the island find its own new leaders when the day comes. Okay, 2 weeks, time's up. Where's your answer? I've summoned the candidate Quill, Sid. She's waiting outside. Cool, send her in. 1111 nods once, swiftly exiting my office. Several moments later, the door slides open, and Quill pokes her head inside. Hey, you can come in now. Have a seat. Close the door. Quill nods and closes the door behind her. Well, you know I wouldn't call you all the way out here if it wasn't for good news. Yeah, I'm glad you're coming. Well, you believed in me after all. I've made plans to keep the ARI running though. After a lot of thought, just demolishing it would leave the island in more chaos than not. But I've pushed a plan that will slowly reduce the hold on the arenas. It just depends on how well the ARI members follow my plan 100% even after I'm gone. Cool, sounds good. I'm so excited for you, Sid. You know what? I'm grateful that you came back for me. I think without the reminder that there's more to my life than just being a different type of slave to the ARI. Don't worry, Sid. It's all in the past. So, are you ready? Yeah, it's time. Feather, let me cross over to Canine Da. It's been a long time since I've seen this rift, and on the other side is my past life in Canine Da, one that I'd given up, all because of the temptation of the ARI's power. I raise a paw tentatively and push it through the rift. I look back at Quill. She nods encouragingly at me. Oh, one thing, Sid. No matter what happens, I'll be right by your side. I nod in return and cross over. The air is much crisper, drier. I feel the wind ruffle my coat. Through the rift, I see Quill coming toward me. She crouches down and jumps through the rift. And now we are one again. What? I was you, and you are me. You wished to become a dog like me, and so I became Q. But now I'm back in you, Sid. Okay, so that was an ending. So was that a good ending? Or was that a bit of a weird mystery in-betweeny kind of ending? But it seems like what Q kind of jumped inside Sid's brain and they kind of fused. It was a bit weird, wasn't expected. So it was a bit of a plot twist right at the end there. But I think that there is another route yet to explore. So yeah, for now this is Usho signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.